Before we start the video, I just want to say sorry, it's been a while. My PC broke, internet went down, grandfather went into, well, he was about to be in hospice, but thankfully he's in a nursing home right now. Life's been a bit crummy. So just keep that in mind. I lost my shades. I don't know where the shades are. I looked for them for this review. I came back from the gym and I thought they were somewhere that I put them, but sadly they're not. But enjoy this review of Mario 64. It's, honestly, I'm happy that it turned out to be the time that it did, and the quality that it is as well. So, thank you very much, and cool, thank you. Hey everybody, so, it's been a while, and honestly, it gave me a lot of time to think. Like, what is manhood? Well, in all honesty, some people say puberty, some people say a bar mitzvah, some people say just, it's a coming of age thing with maturity, and I say Mario 64. So with that in mind, I think this is my rite of passage as a YouTuber, just to kind of put my foot in the door. After all, you can't be a gaming YouTuber and not talk about Mario 64 at some point. Or, at the very least, Mario in general. So, with that in mind, let's take a look at Mario 64.
This was actually the first Mario game I ever played. I was in foster care at the time, and they had a Nintendo 64. I didn't exactly know how to play, so at the end of the day, I just spun around, Bomb-On Battlefield, with the wing cap, but I was really fond of this, and eventually I found Mario 64 DS and fell in love with it. Then I played the crap out of the original. From that point forward, the original was beaten to death so badly that I have it on pretty much every single major platform that it was on. Wii, Wii U, Switch, both the online and the 3D All-Stars pack. I've at least gotten 50 to 100 stars in each of them, also including the PC port, which Nintendo took down. I was originally going to use that for this video because it's easier to record, but it doesn't play well on my computer for some reason. The audio was a little weird. Plus, widescreen support, the UI looks a little more sharp and up to date, and I didn't feel like injecting mods, so here we are. Since I'm playing Mario 3D All-Stars version, I should really mention that there aren't many changes to it. They're dated UI for Mario's 35th anniversary, but that's pretty much it. I can't really say this is a gripe so much as a missed opportunity. It didn't really change the simple code of Mario 64 so that instead of it being 8 directional points, it was a full 360-degree motion, which is fine for a port, but if you're going to update things in the game, I really would have updated probably the most annoying part of it, which is the controls. Not so much the camera, as that seems to be more a problem of the controls in my opinion, but that aside, it was fine for the Nintendo 64, but definitely not for later iterations. It really soured my experience thinking about how this is just a glorified port, rather than something to just go back to. Fondness, but with updated controls. You can still feel this if you rotate the joystick around on a Switch Pro controller or something like that, and then comparing it to a Nintendo 64 controller. When you start the game, you're bombarded by an influencer, I mean Lakitu, where you play the game as Mario, sure, but it's from the viewpoint of Lakitu, a perspective that I didn't know as a kid and definitely found fondness over as an adult. The subtle details really did make this enjoyable, revisiting this, and having a more adult perspective on this. The princess was captured yet again by Bowser, big surprise.
Boy, Mario really isn't getting the hint yet, is he?
Mario 64 has a formula that follows each level where you collect stars in a sequential order. Granted, you can go off the beaten path, but always giving you an end goal to follow. If you've collected 100 coins, you get a star that you can quickly save your progress in that level from, being the only instance where you can actually do this if you collect a star in a level. These are called secret stars in the files and the game itself, mainly just because I guess no one really knew where to put them, and they wanted to make sure you saved your progress, which is fine, but the fact they couldn't do this for all stars is a little upsetting, but something that was fixed in later games. It's pretty formulaic. Explore the level, get to the goal, or there's an objective. Some objectives can be beat the big boss at the end of the level, certain puzzles, or the most common one in every single level is get 8 red coins. Now, there's another star that I normally like to do with this, and that's the 100 coin star that I mentioned earlier. Because each red coin gives you 2 regular coins, and then there are blue coin buttons you can find that give you 5 coins for each. It's pretty easy to do. Just don't do what I did and go to Bob-omb Battlefield first thing and do it, and realize you don't have the wing cap. So if you get a star in the absolute middle of those floating rings in the sky, there's no way to get them without the wing cap, and you're shooting aimlessly. Don't do what I do. That's not to say the game is without any fair share of exploration and secrets, far from it. Mario gets 3 power-ups in this game, each giving him a unique ability. The metal cap makes Mario metal, the wing cap allows him to fly, similar to Mario World's cape, and finally, the vanish cap makes him invisible, and you can walk through walls. The metal hat makes you also hard and heavy.
Yep, nope, can't relate.
The flying cap is one of the most fun power-ups Mario has ever had, also one of the hardest to control. Look, here I am trying to figure out how to get these coins. George, I just can't do it! I can't get the dang coins. It's so hard to turn with this power-up. I really don't know how they would refine it in a remake, but, here's hoping. The invisible hat is perfect for those family functions you don't want to be a part of. Even though Mario gets the cooler way of doing it, I prefer the old-fashioned way of doing it.
Well, everyone, it was great to meet you at the family reunion. It's been a nice whole 5 minutes. Me and Grandma here are really just gonna, hit hay and just leave for the evening. Don't worry about dinner. Just, put it on my tab. Okay, have a good one, guys.
Stage's exploration, besides power-ups, are unique and wonderful given their own issues for Mario to fix. Finding a lost child to make sure he no longer annoys you, flooding a small town, solving a race war between those terrible black bombs and the peaceful red ones. If there's a problem, Mario's bound to fix it. Okay, once you get enough stars, there you have 3 stages of Bowser fights you have to go through. The 2 times you get a key, and the last time you get a final star and save the princess. Mario's moveset was defined by this game. We have the long jump, ground pound, triple jump, backflip. It's all here, only getting refined later through its successors. But because Mario can breakdance, kick, punch, and a bunch of other moves that haven't really come back over the course of however many years, it's a bit interesting because, personally, I'm a fan of the breakdance move. There's no use for it, it's just fun to do. Some levels that stick out to me are as follow. The first level of the game, which is pretty obvious, it's also my favorite, seeing as it's the one I have the most nostalgia for, is Bob-omb Battlefield. Again, it gives you the lay of the land, and you know what to expect from levels later on in the game based on this level. There's Thlomp's Fortress, which is a floating island in the sky, even though it's more of a closed-off area rather than a place to explore, seeing as it's a floating castle and all. But when you get that grand view at the top, it really gives you a perspective of, hey, this is a place that I really can run around and traverse. Cool Mountain is also a wonderful area. I threw this penguin off more times than I'd like to admit. Also, this is the first instance in a video game where I've been told cheating is bad. Well, that's just wonderful. Lethal Lava Land gave me nightmares as a kid because I was scared of volcanoes. It was because I watched that movie where Yellowstone erupts and had a completely irrational fear of volcanoes for like a month. So jumping into a fiery pit was not something I was inclined to do as a child. Now as an adult, I just jump right into this thing. Even though these are basic levels, there are levels that actually have changing effects, such as Bowser's Submarine, where you get the first star and beat Bowser and it subsides, and you get to get the rest of the stars. Also, the opposite happens in Tick-Tock Clock, where it depends on the number you land, but it determines how the level moves, whether it's faster or slower, or still even. It's all dependent on if you pick the correct number in correspondence. For anyone who's played this game, I think we all can agree that we also hate this guy. You monkey! There's some things in Mario 64 that were revolutionary at the time, and some people still might not know what they are. Such as, there's a pink Bob-omb at every level that unlocks a cannon that makes it easier to traverse the level. Speaking of traversal, there are these invisible warp spots throughout most of, if not each level. I, to this day, don't know if there are all or some, but it makes it easier for Mario to travel between points and makes traversal very interesting. You can get stars from Toad if you bother talking to these guys. They actually help you get some of the 15 secret castle stars. The game comes with nightmare fuel, and did I mention you could send a baby penguin off a cliff into the Shadow Realm? No, here it is again. There are many wonderful stages in this game to go over. Every single one almost feels like I'm taking a bit away from the journey from everyone who may or may not have completed this game or played this game, as its entirety is a masterclass in game design, even with all its flaws. To this day, and from now on, this game will be a testament to gaming history. It's not as nostalgic for me as Mario Galaxy, mainly because I didn't have a Nintendo 64 growing up. I only played it vicariously through the DS and through other people and the Virtual Console. The thing I do love is that some stars are a quick 5-minute pickup and others are more of a sit down and play session. It's really adds to the magic of Mario 64 because it's easy to pick up and put back down as you see fit. Coming back to this game years later was a bit of an eye-opener, seeing as I really expect this to be a nostalgia gush more so than a critical view, I would say. Not that there's not anything inherently bad about being critical about a game that's over, oh my gosh, this game is over 12 years old. Just a reminder, this was also the first big game that Charles Martinet was recognized for, and seeing as he's no longer our Mario, it's a bit of a downer, honestly. I don't know what else to say other than thank you so much for letting me play your game. Now, this is the year 2025. If you have not 100%ed this game, I recommend you do so right now because I'm going to give you a spoiler for one of the best rewards in gaming history. Okay, you gone? Cool. Now, if you already did it, you know it's worth it because, oh my gosh, you get Yoshi and your lives get filled out at the end of the game. And of course, sparkles at the end of a triple jump. Who doesn't want that? Oh, Mario, where would we be without you? There's too many things to count when it comes to this game. The level design, the music, bringing me back to characters in the 3D for the first time, bringing the world that I knew as a kid just to life. With a rich development history because it was the first of its kind and no one really knew where this was going. When Mario 64 came out, this was supposed to be big, and thankfully it did, because if it flopped, gaming might be a little different. Only imagine what would happen if this game was fully realized were remade from the ground up, not being ported on a console with hardware limitations.
L was real the whole time!
Hello everyone, so I encourage you to follow along with me. This is a bit of the health thing at the end of each of my videos. I'm just going to do 10 push-ups, and if you want to join along, go for it.
I encourage everyone to be healthy.
5. I lost track of how many push-ups I did. I think that was enough. But yeah, alright, that's your health tip for the day. Have a good one.